Welcome back to the PHLY Eagles show. Joined now by the great Mina Kimes of ESPN and the Mina Kimes show featuring Lenny. And to get the playoffs started, Mina, we're going to start with a very quick draft that we do every year. We are going to draft 12 of the playoff teams, and we're just going total wins. Buys don't count. So if people want to know how you actually stack rank these teams, they can listen to this week's episode of the Mina Kimes show. But we are going just total wins, taking the path into account. And because you are a guest, we will let you decide if you want first. Go ahead.
Buys don't count? What does that mean?
Buys don't. So the Seahawks don't get a win for going to the second round, you know.
Oh, so you're punishing the teams with the buys.
Yes. You can't just draft the one seeds.
Ooh, okay. Got it. Okay, sorry. Got
it.
Right.
So do you want, we will let you take the spot that you want. It's going to be a snake draft.
I'll go second.
Second. Okay. EJ, this is your first time too. I'm going to let you pick first or third.
I want the third pick. I want the turnaround.
All right. Well, in that case, I feel like there is an obvious number one, and that is the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams.
Yeah.
They've got what seems like the easiest win week one, and I think of the teams playing this weekend, they are probably the most likely to go to the Super Bowl. So I feel like that is chalk, but I will take the Rams.
So I'm taking the Texans.
Oh, really?
5 seed.
Oh, man.
Good for you.
And my thinking here was that, if the favorites win, the Rams get Seahawks, which is a tough matchup.
Yes.
Whereas Houston, well, I don't know, because
it depends on the other ones.
Yeah, I know it's tough, but I really like the Texans. On my pod we talked about it. We power ranked the playoff teams, and one of the things we kind of realized was the Texans are basically the Seahawks, and the Seahawks are basically the Texans.
Right.
So I'm gonna take the Texans, who I do think win on Monday.
And you are theoretically locking in this. That's the other matchup this weekend where you feel really good about. That's definitely who is going to win.
I feel very good about that. Yeah, that's probably the second highest conviction pick I've got.
Yes. All right, over to you, EJ.
Now I'm upset because I thought the Texans were going to make it to me at number 3. And now, you know what, Mina? I did the work before this, so I know who I thought Mina was going to take. I know.
You thought you had her pegged.
Who the real ball knowers, who they like going into the playoffs. I'm going to take the Jaguars.
Okay.
We have a former Jaguars fan here. Mina was singing their praises. I feel good about this pick.
I do love the Jags.
But man, I had a philosophy here. I was like, I'm going to bet on like quarterbacks I believe in.
Okay.
So, man, all right. And then on the other side, I feel like I need to get I need to increase my chances of getting a team that makes a run in the AFC. I'm going to take the Patriots.
Okay.
I feel okay about this. I'm trying to go like elite quarterback and a defense I trust here. So I feel good about these two.
Okay. I think that's reasonable, and I think they are likely to win this weekend.
I think there's a tier skip after this.
I have 2 left in this tier, but we'll let Mina decide. This is a chance to be a homer.
No, the whole buy thing threw me. I didn't quite understand. I'm taking the Eagles here. That's probably my second highest conviction game.
Wow.
Yeah, just because I do think, and then if the Eagles get to face hypothetically like the 2 seed, I like that for them.
Yeah. At Chicago.
I think, I imagine we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about this game, but if the Eagles can't move the ball in San Francisco, then just call it.
It really does. I mean, we will get to it, but it does feel like if they are serious about who they think they are, they will win this game. And if not, it was all a facade, and that's fine. We'll see you in September. All right, I will go quickly here. I'm taking the Bills. I'm sorry about your Jags. I know they might lose this weekend, but I will in a wide open AFC. I will go with the guy who is the best quarterback. I think we can all picture like, okay, Josh Allen's in the Super Bowl. He did it. He finally did it. So I will take the Bills, and then I will take the Seahawks because I know. I mean, if it's Seahawks Rams next weekend, I might get 0 points. But I feel like if that's the game, I feel like the Super Bowl team from the NFC comes from that game. So I will take the Seahawks.
So now I'm wondering.
It's not you. It's Mina.
Oh man.
EJ,
I'm so bad at snake.
You don't know this, but EJ cannot handle a 3-person snake. It somehow boggles his mind.
Math.
All right. I'm going to go Broncos here then, just because, man, I don't want to touch Bears-Packers. So, obviously, you have to bye. You would be facing potentially the team that I picked earlier, the Texans. But if the Bills win, you get the Bills. Broncos defense, feel good about. offense is streaky enough where if they get a hot Bo Nix, I could see them winning.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They get home games. Go ahead.
I'm torn here. I'm gonna go. I feel like there's a teardrop here. Like there's not a single
I think
team
that was
I feel
probably
great
the
about.
drop. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt with the home field advantage, and who knows, maybe they can be like the Commanders last year, get on, with a young quarterback, get hot in the playoffs. I don't feel amazing about it, but I'll take the Bears.
All right, you get one more.
Okay. All right, so I don't need to be torn. I can take the 49ers too.
Yeah.
You could talk yourself into a 49ers run. Again,
I think so. The offense is good enough.
We're squinting to see these at this point.
Okay. All right, Mina. Packers or Chargers?
Wait, yeah. So those are the only two teams that are left?
Well, you could go Steelers or Panthers if you want to get really frisky, but yeah.
They're off the board.
All right. Give me the... Because I could see the Chargers winning the first game. I could see the Packers winning the first game. But then I think the Packers would lose. Give me the Packers. Screw it.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I love Packers offense. Love the Packers offense.
Darian Kennard has only ever won the Super Bowl. He's on the roster. It could just hold up.
I don't like this because I could definitely see the Chargers winning this weekend, especially after doing that matchup. But I'm going to take the Packers are the better team.
All right. Bolt up, baby. I've got the Chargers. So I've got Rams, Bills, Seahawks, Chargers. Mina's got Texans, Eagles, Broncos, Packers. EJ's got Jaguars, Patriots, Bears, Niners. We'll see how it all plays out, and we'll follow as it goes along. All right, let's get to the matchup this week, Mina. We are focused today on the good-on-good side of the ball here, Eagles defense against Niners offense. I know that's what everybody wants to see, but what is, like, when you put the film on after the game, what's the first thing you're going to be interested to see, like how these chess masters went up against each other?
Yeah. So what, that side of the ball?
Sure, let's start with that.
Yeah. Okay, because that's definitely the strength-on-strength matchup here, right? First thing I'm interested in seeing is if the Niners can actually run on Philadelphia, which I think is possible. We know that the Eagles' run defense is worse than the pass defense by design in many ways. And the Niners' run game has been real iffy, right? It's quietly kind of like the story of the season for them, that they actually weren't that good at running the ball. Christian McCaffrey's rushing stats are really bad. He's just been so impactful as a pass catcher. Feel like they've kind of started figuring things out in the second half of the season, with Kittle and Juszczyk, and they've been using motion in ways that have really displaced a lot of defenses. But that came to a halting stop in Seattle. And the Seattle defense and the Eagles defense share some DNA schematically, I think, also in terms of their personnel and the way they can defend the run without playing base. So I feel like if San Francisco cannot run on Philadelphia, which is distinctly possible, then Philadelphia probably wins this game.
Yeah, I guess if from last week's awesome defensive performance by the Seahawks, what was like? Is there something schematically that the Eagles should look to borrow, or was it really just like them beating them up front, and you hope that you can have the same kind of talent advantage?
It was really just a lot of it was, I think, going back and watching some of the runs, I was curious to see how they responded to some of the motions, and I thought the Seahawks played it really well. The linebackers were just always seemed to be in the right position, right? But then a lot of it was just just like the defensive line being dominant, quite frankly. And I think they're better than Philadelphia's when it comes to stopping the run, right? Mm-hmm. I think you guys would agree with that. But Philadelphia is capable of these performances. We've seen them in some of these rock fight games. Buffalo, different style of rushing attack. But
that's all they do is rock fight games. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's how they're going to win. The Packers game too comes to mind. So, which there's some schematic similarities there. So I think combination of just like holding the line, and then I do think that Kyle will probably try to play action them a bit in this one. But again, the Eagles defense, the linebacker group is built for this.
Go ahead, EJ.
Mina, how do you feel about Adoree Jackson in this game? The potential for Kyle Shanahan to put him under the microscope. I don't know if you've seen the meme of Kyle Shanahan putting somebody under the microscope and laughing.
Of course, but it's usually linebackers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Not corners. And that's why, yeah. I don't think this Niners offense, famous last words, because, they do get really good play out of their receivers, but this isn't like a group that's stacked in a way that I think can really take advantage of that. And I mean, who are you worried about the most on this Niners team offensively?
On the Niners?
I mean,
like which skill player worries you the most through the air?
probably McCaffrey, right?
I think McCaffrey, but Pearsall too. I mean, especially if you're worried about that outside corner spot, and then just isolating Adoree Jackson somehow.
But that it feels a little bit less the Niners thing, right? You know, for this Eagles defense to be so strong in the spine feels like a good matchup for them, as good of a matchup as it can be against a really good offense.
Well, Pearsall, I'm glad you mentioned him because I think he is quite like his absence was quietly a big deal, even though nobody ever talks about him because he gets hurt so much. But when he does play, he's like really awesome. And of course, with Purdy too, there is a willingness to actually attack outside the numbers downfield. So, I think if you're Vic Fangio, who does Quinyon, blank in this one, and then who do you give help to?
I think they're
weird.
sticking
The Niners
with
receivers are group.
I think they're sticking with him on the boundary.
Yeah, but say he hasn't traveled very much in the second half of the season. They've kind of gotten away from that. I don't know if this is the game that you break that tendency.
And the other big question, which we are on opposite sides of on the show today, is when the Niners go heavy, when they're in 21, do the Eagles stay in nickel and trust that Cooper DeJean can be a factor at the line of scrimmage, and Jordan Davis, the force multiplier that he is in the run game, can have them hold up, or do they go to base? And then you wonder, like, if they go to base, is there a chance that Vic could do something crazy and put DeJean at safety there and keep Adoree Jackson on the field instead of Marcus Epps? It's an interesting chess match.
The Eagles' run defense isn't better in base, right? Last I checked.
Yeah, and they don't play it a ton.
Yeah.
And one thing I was looking at this week is, the Eagles have had, and you've been all over the light boxes, they've had more snaps against the run on first and second down with 6 men in the box than any other team in the league. But they're still, 7th in success rate on those plays. And I do feel like that is a Jordan Davis stat as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is. I really think you trust that you can win, honestly, there. Because, again, like this Niners team reputationally is very different from who they've actually been this season when it comes to running the football. And even if Trent Williams plays, he'll play, I'm sure. He's coming off the hammy. It's a little bit dicey. The run game when he's out, this was my big key with the Seahawks game. The run game is so much worse. It's more, his presence, I would say, affects the Niners more running the ball than it does actually passing the ball at this point. And even if he's in and he's not 100%, I think you feel good about your guys against theirs straight up in run defense. It just clearly comes down to not being, I would say, moved by the motions and too affected by the Niners run game wins more with displacement and angles than it does with ass kicking.
Other side of the ball, we've sort of made the joke that, like, the Eagles offense is talented enough to put up, 17 on a really good defense, but they're also in their own way enough to only put up 17 on the worst defense in football. Like, what is the number where you would feel comfortable as an Eagles fan? Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't believe that they can just flip a switch. Even if Lane Johnson comes back and the week off helps Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens look better up front. But I do believe that they are talented enough to, if they can just pop 6 plays over the course of the game, then that probably is enough. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, okay. Let's start with the obvious glaring weakness here. I asked everyone on NFL Live yesterday to name the Niners Mike linebacker.
Yeah, right.
And unfortunately, Dan cheated because he had called a Niners Colts game, so he knew Eric Kendricks was on the practice squad. I feel like most of America does not know that, right? They have literally run out of linebackers in that room. And if Kevin Patullo can't find ways to attack that position, we've already discussed. I mean, there's other places you could attack. We'll get to that, but they got to find a way to move the ball on the ground in this one. Jalen Hurts to me has to be a big part of that.
Yep.
The run game, draws, scrambling out of empty, what have you, power. And then, RPOs, I mean, I would like to, I know I'm like a broken record, but in this game, come on, right? Passes to Saquon, I would say, could be a big part of that to get Eric Kendricks moving side to side. The wide receivers need to be a part of the blocking effort. I would actually spread to run instead of getting condensed, which I hate when the Eagles do because they're bad at it. yeah, you guys saw the Seahawks, even though the offense obviously ran into some issues as they always do. They were just like running through them like a knife through butter. The lanes were just massive. The run defense isn't just about the backers with the Niners. The defensive line, with the loss of many players, frankly, is just so ungap sound at this point. The other thing I would tack, I mentioned this with the Seahawks game. It ended up not being an issue, but it should be a factor for the Eagles given their makeup. Outside of Lenoir, I mean, the Niners CB2 is Renardo Green is a real problem. They're 32nd against wide receiver twos in DVOA. DeVonta Smith step right up. That doesn't mean AJ Brown's not going to be part of the game because I still like him against. Am I saying Lenoir right? I always give a little Frenchy flavor on it. Anyways, DeVonta Smith
French,
versus right. Renardo Green. I like DeVonta lined up wide here. That's just such a mismatch that favors Philadelphia. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have so many matchup advantages across the board.
And then the other thing is just the Jalen Hurts myth-making of it all. I mean, we will not remember a mediocre, at best, regular season if he turns it on in the playoffs again. And I'm not going to count him out from doing that, but it really does it's all prologue for Jalen Hurts, the playoffs.
He also doesn't have to be great. I'm sorry, this defense is abysmally bad. Y'all, did you watch the Bears?
Yeah.
You watch this? They're just, and it's not their fault. It's not Robert Saleh's fault. They're just out of people.
Yeah.
Right. So again, this is a great. I think you and I talked about which matchup do you want in Philadelphia. The more I think about it, the more I feel like you want this. Now, granted, the Bears defense, the Packers defense they're both bad as well. But especially after seeing that,
That is the thing that's in Eagles fans' head is you want to circle those linebackers, but it was the same deal with the Bears on Black Friday, and they didn't do anything to get those linebackers in conflict.
I don't have a great feeling about them isolating the linebackers. I know I've been like the boy who cried wolf with this. I do think this is a week where Jalen Hurts is finally included in the run game.
I think that's right. I think that's right. All right. Oh, Mina, we got to put you on the spot and make a prediction for the game before we let you go.
Well, as evidenced by my draft pick, I feel it's pretty clear I'm taking the Eagles here. I don't, this isn't, obviously I feel the best about the 4 or 5 seed games, but I would say this is the third game that I probably feel the best about.
Okay. Well, there you go. Mina Kimes. Check out the Mina Kimes show featuring Lenny. You see her all over the place. Thank you so much, Mina. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mina.
Appreciate it.
Back
See
with
you on
more
the other side
on the PHLY Eagles podcast.